While the British press continues to feed us tremendously sweetened or overly positive news, perhaps not reflecting the true state of health of the Princess Regales, we come across information that is far from particularly positive. Summarizing this week, the British press has barely mentioned Kate Middleton, and what little they have told us has been about what has happened in the last few days. From a supposed meeting supposed because only a patron of that pub, who doesn't even give their name, confirms that William was indeed at the establishment to have a drink with his wife's mother. That is to say, with his mother-in-law. Naturally, the British press is already letting their imagination run wild and are publishing articles like Carol Middleton, William's second mother, and it's not Camilla but Carol. Well, the information we have is that we know they tend to exaggerate. There's also much talk about William's night out with his eldest son, Prince George. They went to watch a Aston Villa match. But more than all of that, many of us are still wondering, where is Kate? It doesn't mean that we think, as some were saying on social media, that she has passed away, but we keep asking because Kate Middleton hasn't been seen. She hasn't been seen since that video where we see she has nothing to hide. She's battling cancer, but could she make some kind of appearance, or could she have accompanied her husband William alongside her mother to that pub, where everyone who verifies that Kate Middleton wasn't there? The information, as I said, is not positive, it's actually quite unpleasant. There's an Argentine media outlet, if I understand correctly, Radio Miter, that uncovers this information that initially seems very scandalous, and let's try to explain it a bit. Basically, what they are saying is the painful decision of Kate Middleton's children's psychologists facing a fatal outcome. In other words, they are already saying that Kate Middleton's situation could be so critical that her children are receiving psychological help in that regard. It's because after Kate Middleton announced on March 22nd that she has cancer, the truth is that the Palace team has thought that a psychological team and specialists are the best they can do to prepare George, Charlotte, and Louis for a Louis who is about to turn 6, which the British press tells us is one of his mother's favorite dates. There's a lot of talk about whether Kate Middleton will release the usual photo she usually takes every April 23rd, but the truth is that the information is not as positive as we see it. Basically, what they tell us is that the disheartening prognosis by his mother has made psychologists already start working and preparing George, Charlotte, and Louis to overcome the pain of a death or the pain of a prolonged illness over time. They say that the Princess of Wales would be aware of all this, and that minors are being prepared for a final outcome in the royal family. Now I want to clarify, because many will say, hey, they are telling us she's going to die, and the children are already receiving this notice and they are preparing them a bit for this hard blow. Well, it doesn't have to be that way, or at least I want to think it's not. Remember that the British royal family leaves nothing to improvisation. Everything is perfectly planned, and the people inside the palace do a very meticulous job, everything except for publishing photographs like the Mother's Day one, probably everything except for that. What do I mean? Just as it's being said that Charles could die, and the name of the secret operation they are working on in England for when this happens is called Operation Menai Bridge. Everything in England is prepared, everything in England is planned. In fact, the official version given by this media outlet is that these psychologists have been summoned to assist the little princes in understanding and managing the situation, and especially they say that they are doing it because they learn from the past, and their most recent experiences like the traumatic death of the Ide have made them perhaps progress in this psychological field that, until not long ago, was barely attended to. Nowadays, with mental health issues, everyone has it very much in mind, and in this case they tell us that the children are being prepared. I understand that it doesn't mean that Middleton will die, but as that possibility unfortunately exists because she's facing cancer, one of the deadliest diseases, the palace is being pragmatic, so to speak, and has put these 3 little children, who are barely 5, 7, and 9, to work in that sense, which is the departure, the absence, or the physical weakening on the part of their mother that might make her not be too present. That's perhaps what's happening right now. However, as I said, the news is tremendously unpleasant because, even though some may say that it's fine, that they think it's fine, and that it makes sense, it's still especially hard that these very young children have to be working psychologically and mentally on a hypothetical absence of their mother. So, as we can see, the information that paints such a beautiful picture in England, in other countries, in other places, and in other media is not so much the case. Basically, we see Ross Hamburg as a supposed hypothetical support of Middleton, when we all know they were friends. Whether the affair with William is true or not, the friendship disappeared as soon as Kit Middleton found out about it. And they go on to name the supposed supporters of Kate Middleton. Some may be interested, and I encourage you to read this article because it's interesting. The truth is that this article focuses on two supports that we all know are not supports, but they come to tell us that while they are on these holidays that are about to end, I think this next April 16th or 17th, the children start school, they leave Norfolk. But while they are in Norfolk, what this media outlet reveals to us is that Ross Hamburg and her husband are practically neighbors of the Prince of Wales, and many wonder, well, what's going on? I don't know if these private mansions are the ones that this media outlet was referring to, but much attention has been drawn to the fact that while they are at Amber Hall, the main neighbors and the people who are closest within less than 10 minutes to this media outlet are precisely these Marquises, the Marquise of Menet, whose name is unpronounceable to me. I don't know how to say it, who are the owners of a lavish residence, and they say, well, it's less than 10 minutes away, and Hamburg, logically, is the woman who attracts all the attention and all the rumors, because that supposed infidelity with Prince William has grown a bit more after these holidays have made them closer than ever, because, remember, they are closer than ever, although it's true that British tabloids have been pronouncing themselves on this for some time now. And it's true that Ross Hamburg herself and the Marquise herself have come to say that it's not true what is said about William, that she has spoken with her lawyers and that she categorically denies it, and a lot of things that basically the Hamburgers say no, that it's not true. We already know that, on the other hand, the royal family, we already know that they don't complain or give explanations. Typical no complain, no explain. As Harry told us, it's evidence, it's a reality that within the British royal family, it's not carried out like that. So I'm listening to your comments. I don't know what you think about the information. I don't know what you think about the psychologists already working with the children, which I understand, but to a certain extent, it seems hard to me because they are very young, but well, maybe it's better to be prepared for the worst that catches them all by surprise. I don't know. It's a very controversial issue. It's a very debatable issue. And that's why I want to hear from you in the comments. And also, what do you think about this information that basically tells us that, yes, that Middleton has many supports in Norfolk, but that William, in a way, also would have other supports that are as juicy, so to speak, as the supposed lover of the heir prince, as I said, scandalous information each in its own style, but certainly two pieces of news or two pieces of information or two sources that are truly, well, striking to say the least.